Funding for Off 90 is provided in part by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund and the citizens of Minnesota.
Cruising your way next, Off 90. We break bread at a bowling alley. We visit a local artisan boutique. We learn an ancient form of drawing with rice. And a song from the Yves Lambert Trio. It's all coming up on your next stop, Off 90. Hi, I'm Barbara Keith. Thanks for joining me on this trip, Off 90. Dawn Sanborn is a photographer and art instructor from Rochester. She's also a self-described foodie. Dawn and a few of her friends decided to check out Striker's Corner, a restaurant and bowling alley in Stewartville. What they found was a unique blend of delicious delights.
Pub food, bar food, comfort food? What is it about it that makes us crave it, long for it, and drool over it? What is it that these greasy, fried, gravy-laden foods do to us that we risk clogging our arteries for? And whatever your comfort food is, whether that be pizza, hot dogs, hot wings, burgers, or fish and chips, if that food results in the warming of the cockles of your heart and soothing of your soul and causes you to return time and time again, then that is what I call comfort food. Why? Because comfort food brings back those fond memories of fun and joy spent with family and friends. Imagine shoveling the greasy French fries and cheese curds into your mouth while swinging back a cold one to wash it all down. Laughing and telling tall tales, that is what comfort food does. It brings you good times and good memories. Plus, drinking and snacking is a perfectly symbiotic relationship, like moss on a log. Drinkers need quick, satisfying sustenance to keep them coherent, while certain foods, most often the fattiest, saltiest, most indulgent, become infinitely more satisfying when enjoyed with a chilled brew. And in southern Minnesota, we enjoy our bar food. So when that craving for a plate of nachos bigger than your head begins, we call our friends and roll on over to our nearest bar, grab the menu, and proceed with a food adrenaline rush. Even though almost all will have the typical hot wings, nachos, burgers, and sandwiches on the menu, some bars like to stir it up a bit and offer a little more to titillate the taste buds, like Striker's Corner in Stewartville, where we will be checking in and sampling some of their more palatable goodies, as well as one of the best burgers around, including swilling down a cold one. I am Dawn Sanborn. I'm a photographer and art instructor, and I'm sincerely interested in food. Joining me at Striker's are Pam Whitfield and Mike Stoll. Pam is a college professor of English who also works in the horse industry. Mike is a writer for the Austin Daily Herald and Austin Living magazine, who also considers himself a foodie. So let's head in and see what Striker's has to offer, including swilling down a cold one. Hi, Erin, thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Dawn. I'm a full-time photographer, part-time art teacher, and a foodie like no other foodie. And so I just wanted to hear a little bit about what you offer here on the menu and how you got your start.
Okay. Well, I'm Aaron. I'm originally from Slidell, Louisiana. I moved up here in 2007. And I've been here about 8 years at Striker's Corner. I'm the kitchen manager and chef.
But I've never come across a bowling alley that has the kind of menu that you have. I mean, does the menu shock people when they come in to see this bowling alley?
It's a little surprising to some. I want people to experience food that I've experienced within my travels and so forth. And this is a great place to do it because I'm able to experiment or try to sample things out. And even with our regulars, if there's something I'm putting on the new menu, I run it by them first, and they sure are honest. So
I'm intrigued by, I want to see what you have to offer. What do you recommend for us?
Well, I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to give you a sample of probably the knockout burger, the beef braised ravioli, and some fried shrimp.
Sounds
We'll go from
Your
there.
big ones.
Yay.
Right, I'll be right back.
Thank you.
Sounds good.
Can you imagine anyone who doesn't like to talk about food? I mean, this is the perfect show, right? Who doesn't want to talk about food?
I love food. I've had 20 years plus combined experience in restaurants, and I don't even think I've never worked in the fast food except for Ponderosa would probably be the fastest, but otherwise fine dining restaurants. So I just learned to love and appreciate every kind of food.
Well, the thing that I find too is, a lot of people take local restaurants for granted. I mean, they are putting a lot of love into their dishes.
Yeah.
And when I heard beef braised ravioli,
Right, you wouldn't find that on a bar menu.
there's a lot of Italian restaurants you wouldn't find that.
Right.
So I'm intrigued, So
Sorry for interrupting. I just want everybody to know this is the place to be. Strikers Corner. Strikers Corner, Stewartville. You know where to go every night.
we just saw a very emphatic fan here, and so I think.
It must be.
So yeah, I'm sure they probably have a loyal following.
Yeah.
Ooh, I think our food has arrived.
Here we go. Are you guys excited? The only thing better than talking about food is eating food. Hey.
Beef braised ravioli?
Just put it on the
just put it-
middle.
put it in the middle here, yeah.
We're gonna sample everything.
Wow.
Look at this, mashed potatoes and gravy.
Okay, I like the portions, so
Are they man-sized? Because I eat like a man, so.
they are man size. I would say they are.
All right, we're digging in. Should I cut the burger in thirds?
Yes. You cut the burger in thirds. I'm going for shrimp because I'm a Southern girl.
Go for it.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about shrimp.
I'm gonna leave everything.
Wow, these are like big pieces of ravioli too. Look at the size of that. Good luck.
Hey, we were talking about comfort food. Look at the mashed potatoes with gravy.
Wow, yeah.
I'm super Southern, but I don't do tartar sauce. I also do not eat grits, which is totally, it's antithetical to being from the South. But and my dad, his whole life keeps offering me grits. He can't remember that I'm the one kid that won't eat grits.
All right, I'm gonna make sure I get a proper bite of this with mushroom, onion, and
We're just gonna watch you eat.
okay, yeah, you'll probably regret that. I wouldn't. Okay.
Don't watch me eat this burger though.
That is a pretty big ravioli right there. All right, so and we'll cut that open. Show you. There's your braised beef inside there.
The shrimp are mostly meat with a very light breading, so it's not cheating. It's authentic
Okay,
fried shrimp.
so I'm going in.
Do it, Dawn. I believe in you.
I'm glad somebody does.
Unhinge your jaw like a python,
So I'm gonna go in for your ravioli though because I'm really excited about the ravioli.
Oh, this is
And the onion rings are just
Really
kind of a little hometown topping there.
Yeah, get some onion rings, get a mushroom or two on it.
It's just really got a plethora of flavors. You've got the sweetness of the onion rings. You got the salty of the bacon, the jalapeno kick, and it falls apart, so that means it's really good.
And you have to unhinge your jaw to bite it.
Exactly.
I apologize beforehand to the viewers about how unsexy this is going to be, but I do it
we were
for
going
you.
for sexy.
I do it for you.
You got this.
Come on, there you go. There you
Unhinge.
go. The burger is juicy. That heat really is kind of hitting me right now, but I'm okay with it,
It's not totally overpowering.
That's right. If I'm crying, it's only because I just watched the Hallmark Channel, and and she realized
You're a
that
sensitive man.
she realized that love was there the whole time.
So doesn't everything on the table qualify as comfort food? Pretty much.
I would say so.
I tell you that the ravioli is really good too.
Yeah, I'm leading ravioli.
I don't know, all were excellent.
Yeah, I usually don't even order a burger. I don't mess with burgers, but that was very
I'm
pleasurable.
kind of particular about my burger,
Yeah.
but
Again, I didn't expect this at a bowling alley at all.
not at all.
And I've eaten at many restaurants, and I would come back for this.
Dwell Local is much more than a shop. It's a lifestyle. It provides a place for great local makers to connect with great local neighbors. Dwell Local carries unique products from more than 45 local makers. Vintage, fair trade, repurposed, and specially sourced pieces are all curated in an eclectic, fun experience.
I'm inventing as I go. It's kind of a collaboration of all my past lives. I was a store designer for years on the West Coast, moved into residential design, and so this is kind of a collaboration of everything. We are a locally owned and operated independent shop in Rochester. We specialize in locally handcrafted items. We have about 55 local makers. We have a fair trade area in the shop. We do furniture, and I also do interior design. We've been open a little over 4 years. Business has been great. These neighborhoods are great. They're core neighborhoods, the older neighborhoods in the city. They've been so supportive of us. We started kind of a whole resurrection of the neighborhood. Strip of businesses here, now known as Cook Park Design District. They're just really great, supportive people. The people that come in here like it because it's local. I mean, it's a visually stimulating place. Sometimes people are like, I had to walk through 4 times before I could see some things. And it's a calm place. It's a safe place where we welcome everyone. It was Cascade Animal Hospital from here back. In 1954 they built, they added on in 74, and then when they moved, Paws and Claws came in for several years. And then it was empty, and there were more rooms. Like this was 3 rooms. We've had 12 sinks removed since we moved in. It's been a project. So these are syrups. So they're like a cane sugar base, which are great in cocktails, in desserts. They have a huge recipe library. They also are known for their shrubs, which is a vinegar base. They're again great for cocktails and vinaigrettes, marinades, stuff like that. They also do drinking chocolates and teas and tisanes. And so this is a Gardenier. It's a local company. Amy Lorimer and her mother Linda manufacture this locally in the commercial kitchens. It's all organic. They grow as much of the product as they can. Otherwise, it's all certified organic. They're super creative people. Their product is just amazing. They're just a couple of amazing women. I pour all of our candles throughout the shop. They're all soy candles. They're done in 2 sizes of tins, and then also, like, I started off because I love vintage glassware and I had too much of it, so I started pouring candles in vintage glassware, and it just kind of explodes, and we do probably a couple hundred a week. And my mom helps out. She like preps them and cleans them and gets them labeled and stuff. I love what I do. I love the people so much. I love my vendors. It's been an amazing experience.
A kolam is a geometrical line drawing created with finely ground rice or stone powder. It is composed of curved loops drawn around a grid pattern of dots. It is practiced by female Hindu family members in front of their houses in South India and Sri Lanka. We stopped by the Austin Artwork Center to see how a kolam drawing is made.
Kolam is a folk art form from the southeastern part of India, from the state of Tamil Nadu. It is a form that was traditionally done by women, passed on through the generations from mother to daughter. And it is done by squeezing rice flour between the fingers to create geometric patterns on the ground. My name is Tamara Nadel. I'm a dancer with Ragamala Dance Company. We are a company based in Minneapolis.
Ragamala Dance had come and worked with Austin Area Arts before. Because of the particular nature of Ragamala dance, they do this Kolam art in some of their dance pieces right on the stage. And so they also offered, as part of community outreach, to do this visual arts class essentially, and we jumped on that.
Kolam is an ephemeral art form. It is intentionally done in a place where people walk back and forth over it over the course of the day. The birds and the insects will come and eat it, and by the end of the day it's gone. And it's a way of reminding oneself that nothing beautiful is permanent. It's traditionally done every morning before dawn. The woman will come out to the front of the home, to the entryway, and make a design right on the ground, right in front of the front door, to welcome guests as they enter and to bless them as they leave. It is also an exercise in a silent meditation, giving back a little bit to the earth of what we take from the earth for sustenance every day. All kolams begin with a pattern of dots. And if you have a given pattern of dots, say 5 across and 5 down in a square, you can make 200 different designs from that. Pinching the rice flour between your fingers to make perfect dots and straight lines and perfect curves is the hardest part. Learning the intricacies of the designs is fun and it's challenging and it's exciting. The creating of the straight lines is just something that takes rote practice. You have to do it 100,000 times in order to be able to do it perfectly. This tradition is hundreds of years old. It's been passed down through the generations. Traditionally, this was done with dry rice flour. In this country, you'll see in the workshop that we mix the rice flour with a little bit of salt to give it a little bit more grit. You can do it with sidewalk chalk. There's also a tradition of creating kolams with colors on holidays. I've been practicing for years and I've gotten to a certain amount of dexterity, but it's something that takes time. Little girls learning this from their grandmothers and their mothers at home, these are kids who wouldn't necessarily be going to school for formal education. So it was a way for girls to pick up the arithmetic skills and the spatial skills that they needed. Some of the kolam designs are specific and have specific meaning, but the representation doesn't necessarily have meaning. The choice of which one to do that day, it's just whatever. It really is a way of focusing your energy first thing in the morning. You also have to squat and bend in order to be able to do it, so it's a little physical warm-up in the morning. What I hope people take away from this workshop is the idea that we can bring our traditions to our contemporary lives.
the Yves Lambert Trio performing at the historic Paramount Theatre in Austin. We're near the end of this tour off 90. Thanks for riding along. See you next time. But before we go, here's a quick history about the KROC TV station in Rochester.
It was a day Southeast Minnesota had been waiting for. Calls had been coming in to Southern Minnesota Broadcasting's office from Mankato, Eau Claire, and La Crosse. The few people who had televisions reported seeing KROC TV's test pattern being broadcast for the past 3 days. Don Reddling, owner of Nelson Tire and Appliance, invited Rochester residents to come in on Thursday, July 16, 1953, to see local TV for themselves on a new 1954 Philco TV. On Hennessy Hill, construction of the new studio and transmitter was complete. At precisely 5:30 p.m., the test pattern blinked off and Flash Gordon flew across the screen. At 8:30 p.m., the screen fell silent. 45 minutes later, Channel 10 was back with its first live interview with city lineman Lester Duncanson and George Henches explaining how a tree limb shorted out power to Hennessy Hill. Don Reddling sold 18 televisions that night.
Funding for Off 90 is provided in part by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund and the citizens of Minnesota.